Hello, my name is Lilia Neville and I'm the Benton County Public Information Officer, and as part of the Benton County Health Department's response to COVID-19, we want to provide timely information to our communities in a variety of formats. So today is Tuesday, March 17th, and we will provide updates via video as frequently as we can, even potentially daily. So to kick off our updates, I'm joined today by the City of Corvallis Public Information Officer, Patrick Rollins.
Hi, everybody.
And so if you are unaware, this morning at about 10 a.m., the Benton County Board of Commissioners declared a local emergency. So what this really does for Benton County is it allows Benton County to access both state and federal resources if we exceed our local capacity. And so that local capacity could mean staff, fiscal resources, tangible resources, and that allows us to then feed up through that FEMA process. The declaration is for the unincorporated areas of Benton County, Adair Village, Alsea, Alpine, Blodgett, Kings Valley, unless a specific municipality requests that the county extend their authority into the city. And that request can really only be made by a city council. So the declaration went into effect today at noon, and it remains active until June 30th at midnight 2020. The Benton County Board of Commissioners can end the declaration early if they choose, or they can choose to extend it. Since this is a rapidly evolving situation, at this time the board is not sure, but they wanted to enable the county to have a sustained response, so that's why they elected that June 30th date.
So you may have heard Corvallis was missing in the list there. That's because the City of Corvallis declared its local emergency Friday of last week for all the same reasons Lilia pointed out, to gain access to state and federal resources, to have more of a concerted response to this incident. And just this morning, the Benton County and City of Corvallis Joint Emergency Operations Center opened for business, and so that's a staffed emergency operations center that is intended to support the work of the Benton County Health Department as they continue to respond to the pandemic.
So the second thing that's really important for me to talk about today is testing. Testing criteria and processes are rapidly evolving, and Benton County Health Department is doing their very best to get the accurate information disseminated as quickly as possible. So what we have today is that private labs and hospitals, as well as primary care providers, can order the test for COVID-19. However, these medical professionals have to determine that any patient meets a specific set criteria for symptoms, then they have to rule out other diseases, and then they test for COVID-19. Once that test is submitted, test results are estimated to take 3 to 4 days. That estimate has unfortunately been impacted by the high number of cases that we're seeing develop over the last handful of days. So Benton County announced 2 cases that we are aware of. These cases are with Corvallis residents that physically reside in the state of Washington. We do not know of any other presumptive or confirmed cases within Benton County at this time. While we do have roughly a dozen or more tests out, we'll report any positive cases as soon as we receive the results. So again, if Benton County does receive word of positive results, we will communicate immediately to the public about that information. In addition to communicating immediately about testing, we're also wanting to communicate as quickly as we can about closures. So I know the City of Corvallis has some closures they were wanting to announce.
Right, thanks Lilia. So starting last week, we started planning for contingencies around closures of our public spaces. You may have seen some of those announcements come out already. I'll just run through them really quickly. So the Corvallis-Benton County Main Library and all the branch libraries throughout Benton County are closed to the public. All of the programs and events and classes that were offered by the library have been canceled through the end of March. Over in our Parks and Recreation Department, our community centers are closed. So that's Osborne Aquatic Center, Corvallis Community Center, which was under renovation, was already closed to the public, as well as Majestic Theater. And all of the programming and events related to those 3 community centers are closed. We have a few other closures that might be impacting the community. Our police and fire departments have canceled a few of their public-facing events. The municipal court is asking people who may have a court date coming up to contact the municipal court to reschedule that court date. There's no penalty or anything involved with that. The City of Corvallis Finance Department is suspending water service disconnections due to unpaid bills for a period of 30 days. Low-income assistance is available through the City of Corvallis website at corvallisoregon.gov. And Lilia, can you tell us a little bit about what Benton County is doing to reach out to vulnerable populations?
Absolutely. So as part of our COVID-19 response, we want to ensure that the most vulnerable in our communities receive preventative and care information, as well as instructions on what to do if they start to feel unwell. So the Benton County response is focusing on the groups that have been identified by the CDC as individuals who may be more susceptible. So that's older individuals, individuals the age of 60 and older, as well as individuals with underlying health conditions. So those individuals typically will have lung disease, heart disease, or diabetes. In addition to those two demographics that the CDC has described as groups that are more likely to be impacted by COVID-19, Benton County is ensuring that individuals who have limited access to the internet, to social media, have an opportunity to be provided prevention information on paper through handbills, flyers. We're ensuring that our rural communities are being reached out to. We are trying to develop as many multilingual resources as we can and ensure that we're permeating into all the communities of Benton County, not just those who are connected via internet.
So Lilia, what if people in the community have questions that they need answers to about COVID-19 that maybe aren't on the county website or the city website?
Absolutely, Patrick. That's a great question. We started a phone bank approximately 2 weeks ago, and so individuals, if they have questions, can call in and speak to a member of the Benton County response team about their general questions of COVID-19. Individuals can also use the state resource of 211 if they have some other questions that they want answered about topics that may be outside of Benton County.
And so as of March 18th, we're going to be making some adjustments to some of the public entrances and counters and front desks throughout the city organization. We're going to continue to work. City staff are still going to be there, but we're going to be probably removing the public access component for things like the City Hall lobby, the planning department front desk counter, the police station lobby. These areas are going to be closed to the public for everyone's safety, and there will be instructions at the door on how to reach those individual departments via telephone or email if you need to conduct business there. I want to assure the community that your city workers, the people who make your water, police your streets, respond to 911 calls, we're going to be on the job and working to serve you every day.
Absolutely, Patrick. That's a great point. I think that we just want to recognize that these closures, these limitations, they disrupt our daily lives, and it causes a huge amount of stress for all of us. So I encourage myself, Patrick, members of the public to practice compassion and remember that these measures are for safety. They're to protect you, they're to protect your loved ones, and to protect our communities. So thank you for tuning in, and we will be in touch as soon as we can.